What would you do if you were this guy or girl and you had one of these TikTok pranksters come along and do this? Get a load of this.
Oh, I see a couple, y'all. I see a couple. Uh-oh. See a little couple. You doing? You good? What you mean, bro? Hold on, it's a prank. It's a prank. What you doing? Watch out, watch out.
So he obviously admits that it's a prank straight away, and the guy in grey reacted very quickly, instinctively, and I don't think that he thought much about what he was doing. He just reacted, as many people would. Now, let's go back to the beginning, because as this ex-post quite rightly says, in my view, people have had enough with these TikTok pranks. Now, this guy in the Scarface white comes along here onto the escalator and does the following.
I see you.
Let me get rid of the sound a minute. It's quite clear that all he wants to do is interfere with this girl here. Now, you can hear from beforehand it said there's a couple here. So he's obviously picking out a couple to see what the reaction is of the guy standing next to the girl. So he reaches out. They obviously don't know he's doing anything yet. You can see just here the guy turns and sees that he's reaching out as if to think, what is he about to do? And just as he reaches to touch, now the guy in white's hand is on her neck. Now you can see the body language of the guy in grey, now in panic mode, reacting because of what's going on in the world today. Who knows what this guy is doing around her neck? I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to spook the YouTube algorithms, but you can use your imagination as to what he could have thought was going on in that moment. Now, when someone reacts and uses force, now I know this is in the United States, I think this is in the United States, but certainly in England and Wales, and I think the test is going to be broadly the same in the States, we have a two-part test. Is force necessary? And then the force used is it reasonable and proportionate? Now, if I were the guy in grey, I would think force is necessary because the guy's reached across completely unprovoked. His hand is alongside, in fact, is in contact with this girl's neck here. I would react, and I would think that force is necessary in this situation. Moving forward frame by frame, you can see that the guy in grey has now instinctively reacted to deter or neutralize this threat of the guy in white. Now, as to what he did, as I say, I don't think he thought much about what he was doing. He only had the split-second thought that he should react. If you go back, you can see his body language changed from here. He realizes at this point that the hand is coming in, the hand touches, and his body language changes there, and he's in fight-flight mode. Now, he's obviously in fight mode. Let's protect the girl. Let's sort this out. So he reaches over. Now, I don't think he really thought about what he was doing here, but he drags him over here to neutralize the threat. And only then, if we turn the sound back on, they confirm that it's just a prank.
Bro, no, it's a prank. It's a prank. What you doing? Watch out. You tripping.
And you can see that he kept his hand on him to keep him away. He doesn't do anything else to his credit. He doesn't continually punch him. He doesn't kick him while he's down or anything like that. They just then move away. And the guy in grey takes it with good humor and then realizes that it was all a prank. But what would you do in this situation? He obviously took it with all good humor and realized that it was a prank, but I think the force used was perfectly reasonable. I thought that he neutralized very quickly, very effectively. He reacted. He didn't really think about it. But as the post says, I think people have had enough of these TikTok pranks. I would have almost certainly reacted in the same way. And many people would have done far worse. And they might well have been justified in doing far worse. Because if they genuinely believed that something very much worse was going to happen because the guy's hand was literally on her throat, then if you genuinely believe that, let's say, there was lethal force, then the proportionate response to the genuine belief of the threat of lethal force could well be up to and including lethal force. So let's say that this guy in white ended up with severe injuries as a result of this, and the guy in grey was charged with an offence. That would be a really terrible situation for all involved, including the guy that got injured who was doing the prank, but certainly the guy that was being charged in grey for committing some kind of assault, because he would have genuinely believed that there was a need for force, and depending on what he believed at the time, if he said that I believe there was lethal force going to be used, then that would justify a significantly higher level of force in response. So I understand why these TikTok pranksters do this, because looking at this post alone, it got 18 million views, and that is just on X here. So who knows how many views it got elsewhere, and they're obviously doing it for revenue from these views. Because they create content that is shocking, attracts your attention, because that is what we as human beings are attracted to. But let me know what you would do in this situation. Do you think this response was proportionate and fair? And let me know in the comments with the word in capitals, stop, if you want these TikTok pranksters to stop what they are doing. With that, let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. See you next time.